Hello and welcome to Concord. My name is Justin. I'm the owner of Team 53 and I partner with Coach Dave Academy and Impel Motorsports to bring you this week's Learn to Drive video for late model stocks at Concord as part of iRacing's 2025 Season 3 Week 4 official series. If you guys can, make sure you like and subscribe. It does a ton to help my channel. I am a 12-year veteran, I think now, of iRacing. I got like a 7,500 I rating on ovals. I really don't run official races very much anymore, but I do enjoy working with people and helping people learn how to drive better on the sim. So if you guys are interested in doing that, you can sign up for a short track setup pack, full season of short track setups for all of the short track cars, including late model stock, super late models, both of the modifieds, and the legend car. And then we throw in ARCA and CFix telemetry on weeks that it's not a road course or Daytona or Talladega where it doesn't really matter. But if you guys are interested, should be a link in the description below. You can sign up there, and that does a ton to help us out. I also raced last year in real life. I parked my car this year. My daughter's 12, and just we had a sponsor go away, and it was a choice of doing both terribly or letting her kind of learn and running it appropriately. So that's what we're doing. So if anybody has a business out there that they're interested in getting some sponsorship dollars to me, we're happy to throw you on the car, fake car, maybe get the real car out of the garage. It's sitting just a few steps away from me. So here we go. So qualifying at Concord. We're going to sneak out on track, gas brake swerve, left, right. We're going to get up to speed. Lap 2 is going to be our fast lap, so it doesn't really matter what we do here on lap 1. But we do want to get a good bit of momentum built up, check the track for grip. And the track felt really good. It's just that I knew that my lap 2 was just going to be a tick better than what I could run on lap 1, so that's what I did. So you see here I go into turn 3 and I go back up high. We have this really weird dirt patch here in the corner. I don't know if that's going to be there for officials, if that's just an art glitch that I have in my session or what's going on there, but we'll allow it. So we get nice and high and we get a nice run going here down the front stretch. And you notice how here we get to the start finish line and we are right up tight up against that wall. There's like a little seam that runs here along the right side, and you can see the right side tires, if it comes out on the video, they're right on this seam that runs right along the wall. So we go down the front stretch at Concord. There's really nothing on the wall for us to be able to tell you this is where you need to start to turn in, this is where you need to do that. So what we'll do is we'll hop in the car here and we'll just kind of take stock of where we're at where I start to turn in. So you can see with my FOV, I've got triple monitors. My left monitor is set up so that my window net is even with where it is in my real car. But here's we go. We're getting ready here to head into turn 1. And you can see we're getting close to the end of the guardrail. There's this second, I think it's a speaker for the PA system that's there. So as we get close to that, you can start to see that speaker gets closer and closer, and that's where I start to turn in. So I'm going to turn the car in kind of when we get to those speakers and they kind of go away on the flags or on the catch fence. Now, when you're in the car driving, it's not really something you can look at, but it's something that when you're outside the car, you can take stock and kind of take a peek at and see where you're at there. So we're going to go into the corner and just kind of let it rotate. And now my goal is to get this car as close as I can to this yellow line here in the corner. So let's go to the far chase so we can actually see where we're at. So we float it in. And you can see I'm just starting to feed a little bit of throttle back in the car here. So we just get into the corner and then immediately feed just a little bit of throttle, give it a lot more throttle coming off here on exit. And you can see here, this is right where I need to be with this left front. Almost touching, if not touching that yellow line as we come around it. So it's a wider entrance in, and then we're going to take this late apex and try and keep this car pitched down a little bit here on this on the hill here that we're going to come up on. So you can see here in the cockpit, yellow line, even with that second rivet. That's pretty standard for most cars when we're looking with my FOVs to know if we're on the yellow line or not. So let's go back to the far chase. We're going to come up out of the corner, and we're still not quite to full throttle, not quite to full throttle. As we come up here, we're going to get full throttle almost where the yellow line comes back after pit exit. So we come up here on track, and now a lot of you guys that I see in practice sessions or in test sessions here at Concord, you'll go all the way up here and then try and arc it down. But if you can keep the car pinched, maybe about, a half, 2/3 of the way up here on the track, you can make a nice natural turn and make this dog leg almost straight here at Concord so that you're just coming in with a rounded corner and you just go straight through it. So that's what we're going to do here. I'll show you from inside the car kind of how that looks. So we come across, and again, how we know we're close here on this yellow line. Second rivet is here. We're almost to the third rivet, so we're definitely on it. If not a little below, just to let it rotate us through the corner. But it looks like we just missed it. So down the middle of the backstretch here, let's go in the cockpit. You can kind of see what it looks like, right? We're dead straight ahead is the Nextel sign. Um, First charter right there, kind of aimed right at it. So we go into this corner. We're flat out through the dog leg. Do not lift. Flat out through the dog leg. Now we come up and you see this Troutman Motor sign here. And this sign is key to this entire track. I once followed behind a guy that had like 10,000 I rating for an entire week around this track. And it was me and him in pretty much every SOF. And I finished second to him every single week or every single race. And by the end of the week, I'd figured out that it was this Troutman Motor sign. That was his break point for turn 3. So that's what we're going to use, is we're going to get right here, bring it right up tight up against the wall. You can see here far chase. We're right there. And then as we go past this Troutman Motors, we're going to lift for turn 3, use just a little bit of brake to set that nose and activate a little bit of yaw. Now, turn 3 is probably the most important corner on the track, not just for qualifying, but for race as well. So in qualifying trim, it's easy to take that nice wide entrance in here and you get a really good run off. In race trim, a lot of guys will send it full send into this corner here. They'll dive bomb you low. And my advice to guys is if you see somebody setting you up for the dive bomb, just lift a little bit more than you would here or brake a little bit extra. Do like a double brake. Just enough to slow yourself down so that when they go into this corner and they dive way up and they just slide right up the track, you can just drive right back underneath them and go right past them and live to fight another day. Or when they go into the corner and they're going 10 miles an hour faster than what they thought and they spin out, you're able to get right past them. So this wide entrance here into 3 is really, really important. And then we bring it down, right down there around the apron. As you're coming down the hill, you start to throttle up, and then it's just a nice drive off. Turn 3, the most crucial corner here at Concord. And you've really got to master that wider X entrance. And then here, there's like, when you're inside the car, it's kind of like Hickory, where it looks like the track kind of straightens out, or Langley. The track kind of straightens out a little bit and then it turns a little bit more. It's during that straightening that's where you're going to throttle up. As right as you're getting to that, you'll throttle up and you'll just drive it right off. And that's how we get our 769 lap. Let me hop in we'll give you guys a lap inside the car presented by my friends at Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. They are an AMSOIL dealer, and I got to tell you guys, I switched to AMSOIL in my daily driver, 2019 Jeep Cherokee, and since I switched over to AMSOIL, I'm seeing about 2 miles per gallon increase. I had a couple friends switch over to it as well, and they're seeing the same. So definitely, if you're looking to kind of improve your fuel efficiency, head on over. You do pay a little bit more for the oil, but over the life of the oil change, it definitely pays for itself. So let's give you guys a lap inside the car. Link to Overdrive Racing Oils is in the description below. So here you go. So there is your 1 lap wonder. Now, race trim, I did like a 15 lap run. We have 2 setups for Team 53 that I have released to the guys. And those are, one is a 4th gear set and one is a 3rd gear set. And I'm using the 3rd gear set here for this video, but we do have a 4th gear setup available. So that's something to kind of look at for this week to see kind of where you need to be and what you need to do. But let's head out on track. We'll show you guys a few laps here in race trim, which is going to look pretty much identical to qualifying. in terms of car placement, in terms of throttle points, in terms of everything. And a lot of you guys are going to say, now, Justin, if I'm running my car as hard as you are in this video, I just have no tire left. And to that, I say you're absolutely correct. That's kind of the benefit of doing these videos, right? Is that I can just drive the car as hard as I want to and show you guys these awesome fast laps, and you guys all are like, wow, this is amazing. It's super helpful. And that's kind of what we do. But the other part of this is learning how to tire save. So we've done a ton of videos like this where I'll go out and I'll run 15, 20 laps as hard as I can. And then I'll go into my garage and I'll take note of what my tire wear is. And then we'll turn around and we'll run 15 laps and I'll take whatever my fastest lap time was in that first 15 and I'll drop it down by a tenth, maybe 2/10, and see what my tire wear is after 15 laps of not running as hard as I can the first couple laps. And generally speaking, we'll see 2%, 3% increases. So if you guys are struggling with right front tire wear, that's what I would suggest is just back your lap times down, drag a little bit of brake on entry where you might just, before been lifting, which is what I'm kind of doing in this video a lot of, is just a lot of lifting, a lot of braking to kind of get the car to brake into yaw and free up, and then we're just kind of letting it roll. So that's something that you guys will definitely want to look at, is how you're doing that and all of that stuff. Passing here at Concord, super difficult. We all pretty much run the same gear and officials, within a click or two of each other. So it's really going to be, waiting for the guy in front of you to overdrive their car, to make a mistake, to overshoot a corner and miss it. When you're in a top split race, that's going to be super frustrating because, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 iRating guys typically make less mistakes than a 2,000 iRating driver or a 1,000 iRating driver. So you really have to time your runs. You've really got to know what you're doing. Most popular spots to pass, though, here we're going into turn one, is dive bombing turn one. When somebody lifts and brakes to get into one, you'll drive it in 3 cars deeper and get underneath them and just kind of body them up. Here in one. There's really no outside lane in one. You really want to be down on the bottom. But then turn three is really the big passing zone, is right in through here. And like I said in the qualifying segment, if you dive it in really low here, that will do a lot to get past, but then you also have to know how you're going to make this corner. So if you send it in really deep on the bottom, you either got to park it center and hope the guy doesn't drive over the top of you, or you're going to be drifting up and the guy's going to get back underneath you and just be able to pass you in turn one. So you really, really have to pick and choose what runs you take, which corners you pass on. But that's what makes Concord fun. And with these hotter track temps, you're going to see guys slip and slide. You're going to see guys that are going to have issues late in the race, and it should open up some passing for them. So if you guys do run, let us know how you did. Make sure you like, subscribe if you've made it this far, and we will see you guys in the next video.